Hi, did you know that May is the month to bring awareness to mental health? Well, that's a big issue. Mental health is a big issue. What is mental health? And what does the Bible have to say about mental health? Well, the Bible says that the battle is in our mind and the warfare is in our mind, and we're to cast down imaginations, we're to cast down arguments, and to cast down negative thinking. So I want to come to you just for a few minutes and just talk to you a little bit about what mental health means. Mental health includes our emotional, physiological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It also helps determine how we handle stress and how we relate to others and the choices that we make. Mental health is so important at every stage of our life, from childhood to adolescence and throughout adulthood. And over the course of your life, if you experience mental health problems, your thinking, your mood, your behavior, it could be affected, and it affects everything around you. I want to talk to you a little bit about life experiences such as trauma or abuse or disappointments or just physical sickness that can lead to mental health issues. So what do we do as Christians and just as people of God when we come across difficulties and we come across issues of life? How do we deal with that, and what are we supposed to do with all this warfare that's going on in our mind? Well, the Bible says in Proverbs 4:23 that we need to guard our heart. And to guard our heart means that we need to guard our thought life. So the first thing we need to be careful of the people that we hang out with. We need to be careful of the kind of music that we listen to, and we need to be careful of the kind of movies that we watch, because there's certain movies that you can watch that will plant thoughts into your mind, and they could be negative, and they could be dark thoughts, and even just the people that you hang out with. So when the Bible says that you're to guard your heart, it means to guard your thoughts and your imaginations, and that determines what you think on and what you dwell on. And then the Bible says that out of that will flow the issues of life. Listen to this. It says, watch over your heart with all diligence. That means put your thoughts in a prison. Watch over them. Put chains around them. And if it's negative and if it's dark and they're bad thoughts, then you need to cast those down and you need to get rid of them altogether. Because the Bible says, out of your heart, out of your imagination, out of the things that you think on, out of your mind flows the issues of life. It will spring up like a well, just spring up the issues of life. So we need to remember, in the same way that you go see a doctor for regular checkups, for your well-being and your health, we need to take inventory of our thoughts, and we need to have a checkup on our thoughts to see where our thoughts are lying. And I want to encourage you that if you are struggling with depression or anxiety or fear or any of those mental health issues, there is hope for you, and you can recover from that. And I want to let you know that you can recover without drugs. You don't have to have drugs, and you don't have to fall into that category, or I can't get out of this deep, dark pit unless I have some kind of drug to pull me out. So let's take some inventory right now. I want to ask you to join me with this list that I've made of early warning signs if you are struggling, or if you know of someone that is struggling with anything like this. The first one is eating or sleeping too much or too little, pulling away from people and usual activities, having low or no energy, feeling numb or like nothing matters, having unexplained aches and pains, feeling helpless and hopeless, smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared, yelling or fighting with families and friends, experiencing severe mood swings that can cause problems in your relationships, having persistent thoughts and memories you just can't get out of your head, hearing voices or believing things that are not true, thinking of harming yourself or hurting someone else, inability to perform daily tasks like taking care of your kids or getting to work or to school. Now, the Bible says that we're to take all of these thoughts into captivity, and life happens. Mondays happen. Yesterday was Monday. So things do happen in our life where sometimes, we feel, pulled, and we pulled stress, we feel very stressed in our life. So we have to learn how to deal with stress and how to cast down negative thoughts and imaginations. So the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 10:5 that we need to destroy speculation. We need to destroy negative thinking, imaginations that exalt itself against God and the knowledge of God. Well, what does that mean? It means anything that God is not thinking and God is not saying and God is not doing, and the activity of heaven and the will that God has for you, and you dwell on those, and you're dwelling in negativity and depression and dark and low places, then God has given you the ability and the power not only just to get rid of that thought, but to destroy that thought. You can cast that thought down. And the way that we destroy that thought and that negative thought and we get rid of it for good is by replacing it with another thought. You replace the lie with the truth. Now, this is what you have to realize what a healthy mind looks like. I want you to say that with me, healthy. If you look at that word healthy, if you split it in half, it means heal thy. See, to be healthy, you have the potential to heal yourself just by the thoughts that you think and the things that you dwell on. So, positive mental health allows people to do this. They realize their full potential. They understand and know how to cope with stresses of life. That means that they're not ignoring that there's problems in life, and you're not ignoring that there is stress, but you're learning how to cope with it and how to deal with those things. And you work productively and you make meaningful contributions to your community. And ways to maintain positive mental health include this: getting professional help if you need to. I want you to know that we need to talk to people. You can find a counselor at school, you can find a pastor or someone to talk to, or go to a Christian counselor and talk with someone about the issues that you're having. And like if you're angry all the time, if you're tired, if you're overeating and you're not eating enough, or you're sleeping too much or not getting enough rest, sometimes you just need someone to come along the side of you and help you deal with those things, and you learn how to deal with it and realize that it's normal to have emotions and to have feelings, and to have like some days that are just manic Mondays. Sometimes we can have just a bad day, but it doesn't mean that you have a bad week and you have a bad life. So the people that have bad days but don't have a bad life is because they've learned how to cope with the stresses of life. And when bad things happen to us and negative things are happening, we got to learn how to work with that and get through it, because together we can get through the issues of life, right? So if you need to talk with somebody, don't feel ashamed. Do it. Sometimes if you feel like you just need to cry it out, then cry it out. I mean, I do. I cry it out. So the second thing we need to do is connect with others. Get involved in a church, get involved with the community. I just got involved with the Exchange Club in my community, and I love it. I love the people there. I love the mission. I love what they're doing, and we're reaching out and we're helping people. So I want to encourage you to do that. The more that you stop thinking about how bad that you have things and you get out of yourself, and you reach out into your community and you start helping someone else, you're going to find yourself pretty soon coming up out of that dark pit. So staying positive, taking those negative thoughts, exchanging them for positive thoughts, that makes the biggest difference. We need to stay positive about our life. There's too many negative things going on already in this world. We need to stay positive about our life, about our relationships, about our friendships, and check our thoughts. Check our conversations that we're having. Are we negative? Are we gossiping? Are we talking about people? To have a healthy mind is to check your thoughts and make sure that you're dwelling on the right things and that you're not having secret sins such as envy, jealousy, and that you're not comparing yourself to other people. But, embrace all of who you are and how God made you and the call that's upon your life, and then work on your life. I mean, that's powerful all by itself. Work on your life. Take a good look in the mirror and say, hey, what do I need to change about me? And then the next thing we can do is get physically active. Join the gym, go for a walk, take a yoga class, do something, get physically active. And then find something that you can help others. How can you get involved? Can you get involved in your church, in your community? By joining, like I said, I joined the Exchange Club, but we also have different ministries in our church where we reach out to the community. You need to do that. And then the other thing is you need to get enough sleep. I have my phone set, and in the area where the clock is and your alarm is, I can set my sleep time where it reminds me an hour before it's time for me to go to bed to get 8 full hours of sleep. I don't always obey it. I don't always do it, but at least I have it there and I'm working toward it and I'm aware of it that I need to get rest, all right? And then you need to develop coping skills. Listen, we have Google. Google knows everything. If you don't know how to cope with whatever you're going through, Google it. Google, how do I cope with anger? How do I cope with jealousy? How do I cope with debt? I mean, whatever the issue is and whatever that you've been thinking on and it's just bringing you down and you just having those negative thoughts, Google it. Don't gossip it, Google it. And learn how you can cope and you can become better in this. If you start focusing on you and the things that you need to do to change your life, pretty soon you're going to come up out of that pit and you're going to come up out of that darkness and you're going to be productive in your life and you're going to find that your life will be changed just by your thoughts. So that's just a little bit of food for thought to bring awareness in the month of May to mental wellness. Have a great day.